people, it bugs me, not you, but when people say Chandler Simpson is a one category guy. He's not a one category guy. He's a two and a half category guy. He's going to be league average in runs. He's going to be very elite in stolen bases, and he's going to be very elite in batting average. He's going to be as negative as you can go in home runs, and his RBIs are obviously going to be a negative.
These guys where the main reason they're getting drafted where they're getting drafted is the speed. One of these guys brings a little bit more to the table, but I sorted basically by steamer in terms of which guys are providing the most stolen base value. And I wanted to see if any of these ADPs appealed to you. So we've got in the 10th round, Chandler Simpson and Jacob Marcy. Marcy of the Marlins, obviously, Simpson with the Rays. And then in the 17th round, we've got Jose Caballero of the Yankees. And in the 24th round, we got Victor Scott of the Cardinals. And I think all these guys are projected to steal over 30 bases. They could steal well over 30 bases if they get the playing time. So what do you think about these prices for these, speed-centric guys? Obviously, Marcy brings a bit more than just speed to the table.
Yeah, I would argue that so does Chandler Simpson. Chandler Simpson is like Luis Arias with speed. And that may not be your jam because he has no power whatsoever. But it bugs me, not you, but when people say Chandler Simpson is a one category guy. He's not a one category guy. He's a two and a half category guy. He's going to be league average in runs. He's going to be very elite in stolen bases, and he's going to be very elite in batting average. He's going to be as negative as you can go in home runs, and his RBIs are obviously going to be a negative for your team. But we never say about power guys who have like mid batting average and no speed, oh, he's just a one category guy. Like for whatever reason with this category, we label him as a one category guy. And some speed guys truly are one category guys, obviously. So I'm not saying it across the board, but Chandler Simpson, like him winning a batting title this year wouldn't be shocking. The risk for Chandler Simpson at his price is he really needs to play almost every single day and lead off for at least half the games or a big chunk of the games. If he's playing half the games and hitting ninth, his value takes eight. He'll still steal the bases, so he'll still achieve what you want, but I don't know that he's 10th round pick. But if my batting average is hurting in the 10th round and I've gone heavy power up front, like if I start my draft with like a Kurtz Junior Caminero double tap in the back half of the draft, and I just decide I want power and a decent batting average, then maybe I get a couple of catchers in the middle rounds. So I'm getting to the back half, towards round 10 and really behind in stolen bases and want a little bit of a boost in batting average to take some more shots later. I think Chandler Simpson at cost is absolutely fine and could very well return value. The thing I will be looking for in spring training is I want to hear stories quoting Tampa's manager saying, my God, his defense has gotten so much better this year, because that's the big thing. If he comes back and everybody is wow about his defense, he's getting much better routes to balls this year. His decision making in the outfield is night and day after a winter of working on it. And he's the kind of guy who everything I know about him, and you probably know more than I do, James. You know many things. I don't. Many things. Is he seems like the kind of guy who probably is working 12 hours a day right now on the things he needs to work 12 hours a day on. Whether he's capable of it, I don't know. But if Chandler Simpson comes back and his outfield defense is better, good, and there's tools there for it to be good, then I think he could be a great buy in the 10th round. Obviously, depending how you construct your team, he's a complicated player.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with anything you said there. I think the playing time is like the one thing to watch, and you laid that out very well. I think that would honestly be the most surprising part of him winning a batting title would just be him qualifying for a batting title. Just because I think the Rays just love like mixing and matching, and like they're gonna have reasons for having him in the lineup. They're gonna have reasons for not having him in the lineup. They just got a bunch of similarly valued players they like moving around the board. So Um,
they're just such a different team when he is in the lineup to when not. And I know the Rays are very analytically driven and they don't go for my vibes kind of thing. But holy cow, like he just disrupts games and he just makes things happen. And they I don't know if the Rays care about any of that. Again, if he's a good outfielder, it solves so many problems.
right. I mean, it's just that's the thing that it almost comes back to the defense with these guys. Like when
Yeah.
we're just talking about like the playing time aspect is like you just always got to bring up how good these guys are in the field because it's really when you're not bringing any power to the table, like you have to be pretty good at everything else, or most things.
100%.
Um, so yeah, I think Simpson is definitely interesting in the 10th round. Um, Jacob Marcy, I don't like the fact that he's good enough to go in the 10th round because I severely underrated him as a prospect, but I don't really see any issue with it. And actually, I like every time I'm doing like I won't call them deep dives, but sort of like halfway deep dives on players this time of year. Like a lot of the Marlins kind of pop for me. I've really been liking a lot of the Marlins hitters and what they could bring to the table. And yeah, I mean, Victor Scott could easily open the year in the minors or not have a job. And Caballero, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. He's got 4 positions of eligibility and always steals 30 plus bases, and that's pretty much what you're
And
drafting.
can I throw one more guy on this list who last year at this time we would have been all over and all excited about because he had an awesome September. He obviously had a very down year last year, which means his cost is way down. But I think he's the same top guy, and that's Victor Robles on the
Yep.
Mariners, and he's just been forgotten about. And I sort of want to give him a pass on last year. You can't, like it happens, but I don't know that he's any different from the guy that we were all excited about 12 months ago. And by all excited, I'm not saying everybody was excited, but there was a bunch of buzz
Yeah.
about Victor Robles at this time last year. And he would have almost certainly have been on a list like this from Steamer, like just who are the guys with potential jobs with stolen bases. And I look at that Mariners team, and on the one hand, they were literally one George Springer swing away from going to the World Series themselves last year. They're obviously intent to be competitive again in their division. They probably should be. They do have some depth in the outfield, but I think Victor Robles at least having like a 450, 500 plate appearance type season is with health entirely in the cards. And I think he can have almost as good a season as a lot of these guys with maybe a little bit more power if that actually comes to pass.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'd give him pretty close to like a lost season for last year. Just he dislocates his shoulder, I think, like right away, and just is trying to rush back for the team and everything. So, and just kind of uncharacteristic, some uncharacteristic stuff from him, and just in terms of his swing decisions and stuff. So, I'm willing to give Robles a mulligan as well. All right, Rob, this is the part of the show that I think everyone tuned in for. It's time for it's time for Rob. Every year you come on and you give me a hitting prospect usually who you think is underrated by everyone, including myself. And you've had a pretty good track record with this. Jeremy Pena, Michael Garcia, I believe.
Yeah.
Who's
It's a bitter.
I know who you're gonna say, and I just want to say that like you told me ahead of time, and I just drafted this player for 470th overall in my DC just because I wanted him, and this was going to be my only chance to get him before I published this episode. So,
so I'm as I said to James, I'm cheating this year. So he is like 22 years old. He is going outside the top 450 because there's a lot of guys on James's top 25 prospects for this year who I like, but that's boring and cheating. So this guy has burned his rookie eligibility, though. So it's a bit of a fudge, and he wouldn't be eligible even if James wanted to put him on his lists because of the standards James holds himself to. And my pick is Adael Amador from the Colorado Rockies. I know most people listening know exactly who that is. He was rushed last year to the majors because Thairo Estrada got injured and they had nobody else. And to say that he struggled in the majors is an understatement. He was horrendous in the majors. He wasn't ready for the majors. So, like, put all the jokes about the Rockies and player development aside, they sort of had no choice but to rush him. So I don't blame them in this one instance for using him, but he clearly wasn't ready. But what he's done in just 190 games in Double A and Triple A, 860 plate appearances, 26 home runs, 58 stolen bases, and he's, to your point previously on defense. He's, and correct me if I'm wrong, James, because you actually know such things. I read a few articles. He's not like a Gold Glove, Jeremy Pena quality middle infielder, second baseman, almost certainly, but he's pretty good. Like
Yep.
his glove is good enough that he's a legit middle infielder. Saying on the Colorado Rockies is like saying he's good enough to play second base or rover on your local peer softball team. I know at this point, but like on a good-ish team, his glove is good enough to play a real second base on a good team. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
So I think that, and he does not have a sure job. When I see Steamer projecting like a 22-year-old for a 17% strikeout rate, 251 batting average, 1321 with full-time plate appearances, that's Bryson Stott. That's
Yep.
easily a top 100 hitter, and you still have Coors, Summer and Coors. So I don't know that he goes to spring training and emerges with a second base job. There's enough guys around in Colorado that it wouldn't shock me if they decide he needs another month or two in the minors. But for where James just got him in a DC, he's a guy that absolutely has path to at least 3 to 4 months of plate appearances. And I think it's a nice mix of power, speed, and decent batting average. Just as your middle infielders are starting to get hurt, and you're moving guys around, and you're rookie shortstop, you can move to third base, and you need a middle infielder to backfill him. He's cheap enough with enough upside that when you're taking just the most random backup infielder that is crap, and he's just a guy who happens to be a guy, I think Adael Amador has more upside than those players and makes him an interesting rookie sleeper who's not actually a rookie anymore.
Yeah, no, I think that's an awesome call. I had him sort of circled as a guy that I wanted to get in my current draft before you mentioned him, and so it was great to hear you kind of in lockstep with me on that one. And if the Rockies, who knows exactly what they're going to do, but if you just kind of sort their position players, it's Ezekiel Tovar, and then it's just this flat run of like Kyle Karros, Hunter Goodman, Brenton Doyle, Ryan Ritter, Adael Amador. Like all these guys, Steamer thinks are about as good as each other as the second best position player on the Rockies. So like Amador a year and a half ago, for sure, definitely 2 years ago, but maybe even like a year ago, I think everyone kind of assumed that it was going to be Tovar and Amador in the middle infield for the Rockies, like long term. Obviously, like you said, Amador wasn't ready last year, but they're invested in this guy, and like that double-digit homers, 20+ steals. I think it's like that on a per plate appearance basis is in play. And even if you just start him for the Coors games, I think he's totally fine.
Can I ask about one more guy who jumped out, who I really don't know who the heck he is? Also, I don't think qualifies as a rookie, but is basically a rookie. That's Nasim Nunez on Washington.
Uh-huh.
So his Steamer 600 is 9 homers, 47 stolen bases. In 1,800 minor league plate appearances, he only has 9 home runs. So I'm not sure where Steamer gets 9. He does not look like a guy who could possibly hit 9 home runs in one season, even with 600 plate appearances in the majors. But he has 219 stolen bases. So clearly elite stolen base skills, and he looks like he is very good defensively. Like I watched some videos, and there were some plays in the majors for Washington last year where Nunez was ranging, and like Washington, like he's a high energy guy, And Fangraphs at least currently has Nasim Nunez as the starting second baseman for your Washington Nationals. Who the heck is Nasim Nunez, James?
Yeah, he's just this like all speed and defense shortstop. I'm sure he was ranked in the Marlins top 20
Yeah.
by me back in the day. I don't think he was ever on the top 400. But I mean, he's like he was a legitimate, I was a second round pick in 2019. So like he was a legitimate prospect and Rule 5 pick. And it's not that exciting. Like if I'm a Nationals fan and it's like, wow, like they might be playing Nunez every day. Cause I would take the under on 5 homers from him. Like,
Yeah.
but I almost threw him into that discussion we had about the speed guys. But he was going even later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's interesting. Like, I have no idea what the Nationals are going to do. I'm kind of intrigued at just kind of investing in some Nationals just because I think they were just doing things so kind of archaically prior to this upcoming season. And it's a testament to Luis Garcia's defense at second base that second base is open.
Yeah.
Because he's basically a first baseman now. But yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned Nunez.
When I took Nasim Nunez in the first DC that I did, I don't know that I was the first person who took him, but I was certainly like the min only, and it wasn't early. It's not like I was jumping and excited about Nasim Nunez, but like I'm like he has a job according to Fangraphs, and if he plays will steal like 30 plus bases and in rounds like 44 or whatever. That's a combination of just playing at that point is something.